Hunter.
I'm Rebecca. I'm Caitlin.
I'm Nessa.
And this is the Family Showdown! Hello! Hello and welcome to the Family Showdown, live in the middle of a massive thunderstorm. Well, it's mostly over at this point, but we had a massive thunderstorm just a few minutes ago.
Yes. We almost didn't have this. This was the show that almost wasn't.
So, yeah, some pretty big storms came through the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're mostly out of the woods. I think it's sprinkling maybe right now. Maybe.
Finally.
And the power went off for a short bit, and yeah, we're here and alive, mostly.
Tornado sirens and hailstones and rain. Oh my!
All right, so let me get the chat up so we can see what you guys are saying.
Yay, chat people!
Let's get the chat up so we can see what you guys are saying. All right.
Hopefully everybody else is being.
Ooh, it's like
dry.
microscopic over there.
Yeah, I can hear it raining. It's raining again. That's funny. But the crazy storm is over.
It's really tiny. Can you read that?
Yeah.
Trying to.
We're going old and blind.
No. Whoa, there we go.
Blue skies and 70 degrees. I'm moving.
Moving to where?
Oregon, apparently.
I want to visit there someday.
Yes.
All right. All righty, folks. So we're going to keep it short and sweet tonight for multiple reasons. One, because we don't know when another storm is going to brew up.
Yeah.
And two, Rebecca is a little bit under the weather,
Yay.
so to speak. So
Yeah.
we're going to keep it short and sweet. But we do have a schedule. We do have things to do. And we'll get to them. So, as you saw at the front of the video, if you're paying attention for the resolution, we finally broke 50%. It only took us 58% of the year.
Hey, you know what, though? That's not bad.
No, not bad.
That's not bad. There's a lot of, like, school year and stuff in that.
True.
So I think that's pretty awesome.
All right, so we're at 189 games played out of 376 games, which is 50.3% of our collection played since October 1st, which is 212 days into the year, starting October 1st, which is 58.1% of the year. So we should have 218 games played. We're at 189, so we're 29 games behind.
Again?
But there's a somewhat major purge coming up soon. So that'll help maybe a little bit. We'll talk about the games that we're purging when we get around to purging them. So there you go.
Sounds exciting.
So we had a goal. We set a goal last time we chit-chatted of playing 10 games before the next update, which is now. We got 9 played.
Oh, we did pretty well.
So we almost made it. I almost tried to throw in like a 15-minute game tonight, but I didn't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Just to make the 10. So,
okay.
we played 9 games. A good chunk of them was played during our game day last Saturday. So we're going to just jump straight into our resolution update. Feel free to ask any questions. Go to the end.
No, we're good. We're good so far.
All right, here we go. So here we are. We got 9 games played. We're going to start from the worst to the best.
Oh my goodness.
And the worst of the 9 that we played, in my opinion, Rebecca will have different opinions, is...
Oh, yeah, we're going to have some differing of opinions.
It's on top. It's a game on top.
Yeah, okay, but I saw your stack, sir.
All right, so we tried out the brand new, I guess it's brand new,
relatively brand new.
Murder on the Cosmic Express is available on Cool Stuff. It's from I think he may have self-published. Screech Dragon Studios, never heard of them. Mm-hmm. But it is a 1-minute social deduction game. It says 5 minutes on the back, but you have a little bit of discussion. But it's pretty much a couple...
Yeah, it goes fast.
2 or 3 minute social deduction game. Mm-hmm. I think you have just a handful of cards and rolls. it's kind of like they took Deception, Murder in Hong Kong and boiled it down to a 2-minute game. It's not near as good because it's obviously the bottom of the list.
But if you just need a 5-minute game, I'd say it's fairly solid. I'm just saying. No,
I think it's a nice little super quick social deduction game. Mm-hmm. So the gist of it is there's a group of items like candlesticks and wrenches and junk and stuff like that. And every person's going to have 2 items in their face down in front of them. And there's going to end up being 1 item out in the middle of the board. And the 1 item in the middle of the board is the murder weapon. And depending on your role, you want different things to happen. So if you're the murderer, you want to have both copies of that murder weapon in front of you. If you're pretty much everyone else, you want to have no murder weapons in front of you. Mm-hmm. And through the process of elimination of swapping cards kind of pit style of swapping 1 for 1 around the table, you're trying to figure out what that 1 card in the middle is, and then based on figuring out what that 1 card is, you figure out what items you want to have in front of you. So, and it has different roles like murderer, accomplice, and decoys, and
undercover detective,
things like that. So, super quick, super light, fast-paced social deduction game.
Yeah, it actually, I mean, you really do have to pay attention to do very well at this.
I mean, I gave it a 6, but it's all right. If you're looking for an introductory, quick social deduction game, this one's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Hey, that's a step up from meh.
Murder on the Cosmic Express, I gave it a 6.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
The other game I gave a 6.
All right,
which Rebecca can discuss at length because I don't have much to say about this game.
I like this game. I like this game a lot. And you're wrong.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Okay.
I gave this a 6 as well.
I think that part of it was you just weren't like that into it. I don't know, because the first time we played this, I played this with Tommy and Austin and Chad, I believe, and we played it twice in a row right away. Like, you get into the... I don't think we were playing and getting into the roles and stuff, but to me this is like better than Pandemic and stuff because it's Star Trek-ish, and I like getting into the roles, and as stuff is breaking, it's like, all right, let's go get into character, go do this stuff, but I don't think we were getting into character at all. We were just doing stuff, and we're like, holy cow, this broke now? How'd this break? How are we gonna do this? We didn't really like get into it as much, and I think that kind of hurt it a little bit.
I'm more than willing to give this a second chance. I'll give it a second chance. But the first chance I gave it did not impress me for a number of reasons. One, it seemed like the entire goal of the game was to go to one area of the thing and do one thing. That's it. The whole other point of the game is to hold off everything while that happens. It just seems like a convoluted tower defense game, and I don't know. It didn't seem like the roles were very valuable. There weren't much difference between the roles.
Oh, we didn't collaborate very well, I think, is part with
everybody seemed to be doing the same thing. No one was doing anything different. I mean, everyone was shooting torpedoes.
I never shot a torpedo. Oh my goodness!
It just didn't feel like I was like what was I? What was my role? Yeah, the weapons person. I didn't feel like a weapons person. I don't know. And then again, this is one play of it. I do not like co-op games. Period. But I especially do not like co-op games that are overwhelmingly hard. And it seemed like
this one's tough.
It seemed like one round into this game we'd already lost. Well, and had no chance of winning.
In the defense of the game, we got a very unusual start too.
Well, that's a flaw in the game. But it's going
to happen.
That's a flaw in the game.
It's cards. That's cards. It's going to happen from time to time. That's just card games. I'm just saying.
I mean, it seemed like after we did one round, I gave us maybe a 10% chance of winning.
Well, that's
never
tell me the odds.
Why play the rest of the game if we have a 10% chance of winning?
No, he's not going to play Robinson Crusoe. Oh my gosh, no.
I have no interest.
Nope.
I'm okay with a co-op that you win about maybe half the time, like a 50-50. It's like a coin flip.
Well, until yesterday or whatever day that was, we played this. I had a 50-50 percentage on this, so just saying. Yep. Yeah. Bad draws happen in
I didn't say I like Pandemic either.
Oh.
So I'll
That's
give
funny.
it another chance. But for now, it's
It is tougher than Pandemic. I will give you that. But I like the roles and stuff better, and I think it's easier to get immersed in it but again, I felt like it's Trekkie stuff. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed really getting into that. But anyways, bah humbug. Bah humbug.
You're
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Oh.
Hector says he found out when we were all on Hunter's team, he gave us a 10% shot too. Wah wah.
I don't play well with others.
Yeah. Yeah, we had two.
I play against others well, though.
This is what I think cursed this game, is that we had 2 I Hate Co-ops playing with us. 2, not just one.
Who hates co-ops?
Gaming Wife? Did you not read her gamer profile?
No, that's true.
You two are like twinsies when it comes to that, man. Yeah, so there you go.
I like a 50-50 chance co-op. Once you get past, when you get in you got to play it 10 times to win once. I am so far out that I'm not even around in the same solar system.
Michael says, "See, where are you? Get him."
Pandemic's okay. All right, next up, we're moving up to the ones I rated a 7.
Oh,
well,
I haven't
the
played
only
this yet.
one, the only one I rated a 7.
I haven't played this one yet.
So we tried out Muse.
want to play.
Rebecca was not here when we did. I actually want to play this versus the internet. I was going to do it tonight, but we can't stay online. So, but I want to try this versus the internet.
Oh, cool.
So basically, Muse is like a tricked up Dixit. So you have teams. You break up into 2 teams, and then one team looks at some cards and then makes some decisions to give it to a clue giver of the other team. And the clue giver is given a card that tells them what one word. I think it's one word, but not one word. What clue they can give. There's rules around how they give a clue to try to point their team to the card that they are given. Then that card they were given is shuffled up with 5 other cards and put on the board, and then their team, other than the clue giver, has to guess what card they gave the clue for.
It's like reverse Dixit.
Yeah, it kind of is.
That's kind of cool.
And you play until someone scores a certain number of points, and they call them the inspiration cards, I think they're called, that tell you how you give the clue are kind of funny. Some of them are some of them might not. Some people might not like some of them because they've got the strike a pose and jump like
really?
that. You could take those out. They're not all those, but the cards. Rebecca can show off the cards. They're very Dixit-like, but not so weird.
Not
not so strange. So not strange.
There
Dixit.
is a pig in a teacup ride that's special.
No, you got to back it up.
Back it up. Can you see that? Look at that. What is going on there? That's special. That's the first one I popped
So, like,
up
this,
to.
for example, the clue giver may be given a card that says, name a non-fictional insect. And then they're given that card. What card's that?
Creepy.
So, non-fictional insect, I would say maybe worm. That's not an insect. What's an insect? That would be with a bird. Is there a bird insect? Insect that has a bird in it?
What?
Like a...
What?
I'm trying to think of an insect that has a bird name. That's the trick. You got to think of an insect that's going to point to that card. So, a bird insect. I don't know. I don't know any bird insects. Is there anything else in that picture that would be insecty?
I got nothing.
Yeah, see, that's the challenge.
What about these little moth-looking things?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, a moth.
That looks like a little moth
Yeah,
thing.
there you go, moth. So anyway, that's what it is.
birds
So,
on that
and
leaf.
some of the other ones is say a word with exactly 3 letters. So you would say for that one maybe I have no idea.
Dig?
There you go. There you go. That's a good one. See, she's good at this game. So that's it. So that's how you play the game.
Hawk mosquito. There we go.
Is there a hawk mosquito?
Apparently.
If there is, then that's a good clue. So that's all it is you're given...
Ant chicken.
the trick is the people that are giving you the cards to give the clue, they see all the picture cards.
Okay.
And they're given 2 choices of actions.
Okay.
So they can pick an action and a card, and based on what cards they have, they're going to try to find one that's the hardest to pick out among those. Or maybe one that's similar to other ones, so that maybe your clue may point to that. Because when the clue giver is not seeing the other 5 cards when they're looking. So they could give a clue that could point directly at another card that they're not seeing. So there you go.
Sneaky.
So that's Muse. I liked it a lot. I think we should play it. Basically, it'll be Team Rebecca, Team Hunter. We'll split up into 2 teams, and we'll
destroy the galaxy.
See who scores like 3 points first or something.
That sounds cool. I'm game.
All right, next up, we're moving up to the 8s. The very bottom of the 8s is...
Bottom of the 8th?
Bottom of the 8th is...
This game. I love this game.
We have not played Detective Club. So this is Vampire Radar. This is a Japan-only game. It never came to the U.S.
Yeah.
So what's his name, got it for us?
Oh, Julian.
Julian got it for us.
Julian, our buddy Julian.
Sent this over to us.
The Japanese connection.
Apparently you could pick this up at a toy store in Japan readily, but it did not come to the U.S. at all.
Yeah, it's...
So this is what I would call the very most basic.
That's such good English.
The most basic hidden movement game you could have, pretty much. It's like bare bones, introductory, hidden movement game. So
you sunk my battleship.
So one person's basically a vampire. They're rolling around. They're hidden on the board somewhere. All the other players are going around the board trying to find them. They have radars. That's the name, Vampire Radar. They step on these radars and they can tell how far away from them the vampire is. And so they're trying to shoot the vampire and kill him before the vampire eats all the players, or the players run out of bullets, whichever
is really easy to
whichever
do.
comes first. So it's just this one's a nostalgia game because why is it a nostalgia game?
Oh, what? Oh, I get to be the name dropper today?
Yes.
No, this was the very first game we ever got to play with Z.
Anyone at the Dice Tower. So
yeah, that's true. It was anyone at the Dice Tower. Yeah.
So yeah,
that was our and it was just a hoot. It's such a fun game.
And if you go to the Dice Tower and look up the Vampire Radar review by Z Garcia, you will see Rebecca's hand.
That's right. I am the hand model for this.
You will see Rebecca's hand in the Vampire Radar review at the Dice Tower. Because Z took a picture of the board.
And I was planning
while
something.
She was pointing or something. So this is a fun one. I like it. It's like impossible to get. You have to get someone from Japan to send it to you because the toy store won't even mail it out to the U.S. So good luck.
Yeah. But if we're around, we'll play it with you. For sure. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't play this one in the most recent one, but...
Here comes another 8.
This is a good one.
Clank in Space.
Uh-huh.
We played this with the Apocalypse expansion, which we already done that before.
Okay.
But we played this. Several people hadn't played this before that played it. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. We played it on extra crazy hard mode because I got a rule wrong. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I was moving the little Overlord dude, the guy, angry guy, the dragon and Clank. I moved him up quicker than he should have.
Did you guys all die?
Everyone died but one person. So we had a winner. I was one step away from scoring, getting to the area where you score.
And you died.
And I died.
Because you were
running
with
I think if I would have scored, I would have won the game. But I didn't score.
That's funny. So you were running around with your pots and pans, clanging them as you ran.
Yes.
That's, typical.
But this one's fun. I like this one much better than regular Clank. I will play regular Clank, but this one, I like this in space better, especially with Apocalypse. It adds some new mechanisms and things you can do in the game and kind of tricks it up. And every scenario is a little bit different. They call it, I guess it's a scenario. Yeah. What happens is a little bit different with that expansion. So, fun one. Like it. If you have Clank and you haven't tried Clank in Space, you probably like it if you want a little bit of a meatier game. So
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Tommy's asking what the Apocalypse part was. Apocalypse part was there's a little scenario where normally when you play Clank or Clank in Space, as you draw cubes out of the bag, you'll get black cubes. Normally you just take those cubes and set them aside. In the Apocalypse expansion, you put the cubes on a scenario board, and that scenario board causes different effects to happen. There's different phases to the scenario. So like if the first phase completes, maybe you'll take a damage. Later on, something else will happen. At the very end, if you completely fill up the scenario board, then there's like an ongoing nasty effect that happens.
Oh, okay.
And there's things you can do. It tells you how in the scenario how you can remove cubes off so that the phases don't fill up.
I totally forgot that was part of the expansion. That's funny.
So that's the expansion.
It blends pretty well in.
And
with
then
the
there's
game.
new boards that have on the Clank and Space boards. There's boards where you can places you can spend those black cubes to get money or get a health or things like that. And then there's some cards that have an effect, but they have an additional effect if you spend a black cube to get the bonus effect.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's the expansion. So it doesn't add a lot. I mean, it just gives something to do with those black cubes other than just set them aside as the game goes by. So it's just that's basically all it does.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So that's Clank in Space. I rated it an 8. So the next 8, continuing on the conga line of 8s, is...
Yay, I like this one. Such a fun game. Such a fun game.
So Council of 4, that's our...
Got our butt kicked.
We did a brand new player who's not going to come back to our game day ever again. Destroyed us.
She so is coming back.
Destroyed us in Council of 4. I mean, it was... She took us behind the shed and gave us a good whooping.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
It was a fight for second place in that game, and...
Or in my case, last place. But
yes,
you know.
Last place. So, anyway, Council of 4.
I love this.
It reminds me a little bit of Royals, if you played Royals, but basically you have these different areas of the board. It's an area control game, and you're playing cards to influence those different areas. But the cool mechanism in this game that kind of sets it apart from other games is that when you control an area, when you take control of an area, or you put a merchant or whatever, one of your figures in an area, you get a bonus for that area. But in addition to that bonus, you get a bonus of every single area that's connected by roads to the area you just triggered. So you may go to one place the first round, you get like first time you get like one bonus, but then the next time you go to a city adjacent, now you're going to get 2. Get the bonus of the city you did plus the other city, and then you go to another place and it just builds and builds and builds on itself until maybe you're getting the bonus of 5, 6, 7, 8 cities on a turn. So the game ramps up massively towards the end of the game, where you're getting all these bonuses from all the different cities triggering off each other. So it's a cool game. It's
fun.
It's not very hard to learn. It's pretty straightforward.
No, there's just lots of little details that might be overwhelming at first. It's not an intro game, that's for sure. But I think that maybe a next step or higher. It's midweight. I would say it's midweight.
Yeah, it's just a midweight area control Euro game, and it has tracks, like in a lot of Euro games, you're moving along tracks to get bonuses and stuff like that. So it's pretty straightforward. It plays in maybe an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah, it wasn't
not even
that
an hour
long.
and a half. About an hour.
Yeah, it doesn't last all that long. It was pretty good.
But yeah, it's fun. Fun little game.
I like it.
It's way overproduced. It's a cool mini or not version.
And it's awesome. I like it. I think
the original version is, I think it's just cardboard chips, but the cool mini.
Oh man, it's gorgeous.
Come on. I guess that's the latest way you say it.
I don't know.
Way overproduced it and has all these crazy miniatures.
And they're so cool.
And then you have the player miniature. That's the...
Oh my gosh, are you opening that?
Yeah, I'm gonna open it.
What are you thinking?
I gotta show all the bazillion of little tiny player miniatures.
That's true.
So there's all the player.
Look at all that.
These are the tokens you put on the board to control the different areas. They even give you a big miniature just to show you what color you are.
You just put it on your player mat. That's it. It's so funny. It's like, okay.
Way overproduced, but yeah, whatever.
Whatever. It's fun. I think that's one thing that makes the game fun. Oh, that's your list. Okay. Makes the game fun too is just the ridiculous minis you get to play with. So.
All right. So there you go. Council of 4. So the last but not least of our 8s is one of Rebecca's faves.
It is.
One of her faves.
It is. Oh my gosh, this has become heavy over the recent editions.
We played Roll for the Galaxy with the brand new Rivalry expansion.
Yes.
So, the expansion comes with 3 different modules that you can add to your game. You can add it to Roll for the Galaxy with ambition or without ambition. It gives you stuff you need to if you don't have ambition. I don't know why you wouldn't have ambition. Ambition is a great expansion. But in Rivalry, it's 3 different modules. One module is just more of the same, so it's more factions and home worlds and built worlds and developments and junk like that. Just more stuff that goes along with the new dice. There's a dark blue die that comes in this game. that works with some of the worlds. It's basically a more powerful version of the light blue die, which is the weakest of all the dice in the original game. So that's one module. You throw that right in, you're just kind of more the same. Then there's 2 new modules that are completely different. One is a customizable dice that you roll at the beginning of your turn that gives you a benefit, and you can use upgrades and things to make that die more and more powerful as time goes by, and you're rolling it at the start of every turn, and you get a benefit. That one's super easy. It's fun. I enjoy that one quite a bit. Then there's another expansion which we don't like, and I haven't heard anyone likes this expansion. So if you like this, the deal expansion, let us know because we don't like it.
Yeah, we want to see what
all the
like
reviews
about
I've seen don't like it. So basically, what it is, you have this set of dice that you roll, and then you can pick 2 of the die and basically exchange one thing for another thing, and that's what it does for you. And then there's a bunch of convoluted
it's just
rules
a distraction
on how
from
the deals
game.
work. We didn't like that at all. In fact, we'll probably never play with it again unless someone wants to try it out. Otherwise, we probably won't ever play with the deal expansion. So this is the orb expansion, which is the customizable die, which is awesome. And then there's the deal expansion where you're trading one thing for another thing. Not so awesome.
Yep. But this still remains like super awesome game.
Yeah, I love it.
It's just worst case scenario, I would say I don't need the rivalry expansion. I would play it as is, but like you said, the customizable die thing that you roll is kind of fun for something different. But again, it's extra. I'm not gonna say, hey, you need to go out and buy this expansion. No.
I don't think either expansion, Ambition or Rivalry, is either one of them a must-have. Ambition's, I think, the better expansion.
Ambition's amazing, and it makes the game
Rivalry
really awesome.
is okay, but for $60 or whatever it costs, it's
Buki,
not okay.
Kabuki says it's called Rivalry because the price rivals the base game.
It's more expensive than the base game.
It's insane.
Yeah, but
and I'm like, for what you're getting and how much I'm satisfied with it, I don't know that it's...
We've overgrown our insert.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too.
So our insert is now...
chock full.
It is like a block of stuff now. It's just... There's no space.
Yeah, it's...
So we took the cups out. So now the cups sit on the side.
Look at the size of these little customizable... ginormous... It's about the same size as the Dice Forge or whatever dice. So I like that because I liked those dice, but yeah, it's I don't know.
I like it. I mean, I like the orbs, but to add more stuff and get the blue die and to get the customizable orb thing, it is not worth
the price, guys.
The $50-$60 that you pay for the expansion.
Yeah.
Unless you just love the game and you want to add a little bit more to it.
Yeah, if this is like the game you play all the time, then I would say, okay, I can totally get that, but it's
All right, let's move on. 2 games left. Both of these are a 9. First up is Gloomhaven. The box and the stuff is at the end of the table. I'm not going to pull that stuff out. Gloomhaven. So I finally got to play Gloomhaven. I played the first scenario twice because I suck. So I played one time with some characters that I thought would be interesting, but they ended up not being as interesting, and I didn't do very well. And then I tried the second time with the characters I thought would actually be more functional and work together better.
And they did.
And they did, and I won the scenario. So I've only played it twice, and with a couple. I did a city encounter, the main encounter, another city encounter, and then that scenario thing again. And lost the first time barely. I was in the last room, and my last dude died. And then the second time around, I just kind of slammed right through it. So I picked some. Once I knew the game a little better, I knew how skills worked and things like that. I picked some classes that worked better together. The ones I had just didn't function very well together.
They had a dysfunctional group.
Well, I didn't really. I had one guy that was needs basically to be next to other people. And then I had 2 weak classes with him, and they weren't going to be next to other people. So everyone was kind of trying to stay back. And then there's one guy that needed people next to the monsters to be powerful. And it just didn't work out very well at all.
Did you play with the big goat guy?
Yes, the second time. So I play. I don't know their classes. It's bad. I can't recall what their names are.
I think Paul was using the technical term, big goat guy.
Big goat guy.
Yeah. I think that's.
I have the one that the mage, whatever, the one that casts area spells and area effect stuff. I have the tank, whoever he is, and I have.
Oh, David says brute.
Yeah, I have the brute. I have the
Go David
spellcaster. and I have the rogue guy again. I kept him, but now he's got a brute that he can stand next to. That actually helps. I didn't do the one that does the blows up things. I can make things explode and stuff like that. The dude that like does things, makes rocks explode, or I don't know what the guy
Sounds
is.
like something you'd see on Borderlands.
But yeah, so
That's
I got
funny.
the tank, the rogue, and the mage, and they work really well together. So I'm playing 3 characters. I already got a couple of side scenarios already lined up that I can do that I found while I was traveling. No, it's really exciting. I won't spoil any more than that, but I enjoy it so far. It's really neat. I like how you have encounters on the road and in town and things like that. So it's cool. I like it. Yeah, I don't think I played the Tinkerer. I can't recall the classes. I'll probably play another scenario before the next time we chat, and I'll be sure to note the characters I'm playing and things like that. So but I enjoy it. I'm loving it. If I was a college kid that had all kinds of time, not that college kids have all kinds of time, but I did when I was in college, I'd be already 20, 30 scenarios into this thing. So, but this is going to be an every once in a while, when Rebecca's busy doing something, I'll sit down and play a scenario, and it'll take me years to get through it, but I'm okay with that.
That's cool. So, Paul's asking, do you like the card combat?
Actually, I do like that because you kind of can manipulate it a little bit, right? It's rolling a die, you just get what you get, right? With this card combat, you can kind of judge what cards you've played and not played, so you can know, okay, this guy's got a lot of sucky cards. He's about to be really powerful, and you can kind of judge who's played their big cards and low cards, and it's kind of cool. I kind of like how it works. I don't necessarily like how that it. As you go through it, it kind of speeds. It's a kind of a timer in a way, and it can cause problems if you cycle through too quickly through the deck.
Gotcha.
But that's something you balance. I mean, it makes it Euro-y, and I kind of like that versus just a kind of a dungeon crawl where you're just chunking dice and hoping for the best. So it's cool. I like it.
Oh, that sounds like something I would like better too. Then.
All right.
So before we talk about this, I gotta mention my bomb game that I played.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Okay, Tommy, what was the name of it? Because I don't have my phone by me where I wrote down all the info and stuff. But it was a bomb diffuser game, and it's on the actual. It's actually on the computer, and then you have a bomb diffuser manual, and it's a cooperative game, but the person that's got the manual, it's kind of like in the movies where you've got the guy on the phone. And then you got the other guy that's right next to the bomb, and he's like, dude, what do you see? And he's like, oh, I see all this stuff, and you're giving him the instructions over the phone. Well, the person with the diffuser manual is not supposed to be looking at... Yeah, keep talking and nobody explodes. That's the name of it. And so you're supposed to not look at the computer screen if you've got the manual, and the people with the computer screen, they can't look at the manual and vice versa. Like, okay, so manual person doesn't look at the computer. And they're talking and stuff, and it's really fun to just go through and get these scenarios. But the manual is not the most straightforward, so at first you got to kind of figure out how to read it to quickly get through and say, okay, this is what you need to do. Oh man, so much fun. It was a lot of fun. Played it several times actually, and I kind of want to play that more, and I think I may end up having to get it at some point for my board game kids. I think they would have a blast.
I think we would end up screaming at each other if we played that.
Who, you and me? Yes, I would probably beat you over the head with the binder, and yes. So, cool, using Steam. Okay, so you can play it over Discord using Steam. That's cool.
Cool. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you guys have access to it or are interested, you should go check it out. It's a lot of fun. Again, it's too close to escape room-esque for the two of us, but I played it great with other people.
I like how she put a hand in my face. Like no, I'm not playing with you.
He doesn't listen to me. I'd be like, cut the red wire, and you're like, the red wire? That doesn't seem right. I'd be like, it's a red one, and then he cuts something else.
It looks pink to me.
And then, oh man, we'd kill each other. He'd blow up, I'd blow up, everybody blows up.
That's
It'd
funny.
be sad at the end.
No, it sounded like they were having a blast. They were screaming and yelling in the other room while we were playing real games.
Whatever. You were finishing Clank and Space and stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. Really fun. So that was it. Okay. So now to
the numero uno game that we played in the last 2 weeks. Underwater cities. Oh my.
Wow.
Oh my.
This one's going on my list next year. I'm saying it now.
Well, I think it's technically 2018, technically.
I don't care. I'm saying it's going to go on my top 100 list.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying it may be vying for one of the top games of last year.
Oh, of 2. I could see that. This was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed this quite a bit. There's a lot of comparisons to Terraforming Mars, and I disagree maybe with the comparisons. I mean, it has cards combos, I guess, that you can pull off, but it's more worker placement, city building type feel to it, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where people could see some comparison, but this is, I don't know, the way they, I don't know. It's really hard to explain having played both of them. I'd have to play them again, I guess, to get some better, like, details. Because, I mean, yeah, you're kind of mapping out your own area and civilizing it, you know.
Right.
And everything. And, yeah, you're kind of using cards to drive a lot of that. But, I don't know. The way you manage the resources and the way you build things and how they chain is so completely different from what Terraforming Mars does.
To a degree.
Yeah, because there's no real chaining of things with...
You can kind of chain a little bit.
Well, with the... Yeah, I guess so, with some of the resources on cards. Yeah, I mean, it's just... But the way it works, I don't know. I don't get the same vibe from it. But I absolutely love this game.
Yeah, it's really solid.
You
start out... Basically, the kind of the theme is that the Earth is overpopulated and... we were forced to live under the sea because we're running out of space, and you're given like a small little city, little dome place, and you have to build out from there. And you're building like farms and desalination plants and what else? I can't remember the third one. Anyway, you're building different kinds of buildings, and those buildings give you resources, and it's kind of like a lot of city building games. You start getting more and more, and you're getting more and more resources each turn, and you're growing and growing, and you're accelerating, and you have areas you're trying to connect up through tunnels and things like that. But then you have the base of the game. You're drafting these cards, and you're using those cards to take different actions to get more resources. So it's kind of like in Terraforming Mars. It's a resource management, card-driven engine building game, but they feel completely different.
Yeah.
You're not really in Terraforming Mars. You're kind of affecting a central board together, whereas in this game you have your own player board that you're doing, and you don't really interact with the other person's player board.
Yeah, it's not like we're both on the main map fighting for territory, so it's not really that sort of area control at all.
So I think Underwater Cities is slightly lighter, and Underwater Cities is a worker placement game, whereas Terraforming Mars is a card drafting game.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of go into the same place, but you're traveling a different road, right?
Yeah.
So in Terraforming Mars, you're drafting and buying cards that combo off each other, and you're building this engine based on these cards. Whereas in Underwater Cities, it's more worker placement, and yes, there's cards involved, but the worker placement piece drives everything. The cards aren't really driving the game; they're kind of a part of the game. So it really depends on what you like. If you like drafting games, maybe go Terraforming Mars. But if you like worker placement, maybe Underwater Cities.
Yeah.
Terraforming Mars is a longer game than this is.
Well, and it's got 1 billion expansions. If you're really into expansions, then you might want to get that one because it's got room to grow a lot. And almost too much anymore. This one I don't think has anything yet, right?
No, it's brand new.
But with both
I think
of them,
there's one coming out.
The base game is awesome.
I think there's an expansion coming out, but
I don't know. I like Cameron's asking which one. I would probably pick which mechanisms, like you said. I like that. Or if you get a chance, play them first and then decide, because gosh, I would have I'm not gonna lie, I really, really like this. I would have a tough time picking right now.
So this one I would think is maybe 30-40 minutes a player. Terraforming Mars is an hour plus a player. Hour plus per player.
That's a huge thing too.
So if you're playing I know there's people say, I can play a 3-player game of Terraforming Mars in an hour and a half, but that's not normal. It's going to be about 2.5 to 3 hours to play a 3-player Terraforming Mars game.
True.
Unless you got people just flying through their turns. If it's a normal play group that with a normal play style, it's going to be an hour a person. Don't even try to play 4-player Terraforming Mars. You're talking forever.
Whereas this one
you can probably do it in 2 hours with 4 players.
Yeah,
because the turns go really fast,
quickly, and you could probably finish up a turn while someone starts. I think probably once you get the handle on the rules and stuff. So
this one doesn't have as much iconography. This one, the cards aren't as complex as Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, because Terraforming Mars has so many cards with so many different combos and things that you can do, and this one is not set up in that same, because again, it's not about the card drafting as much in this. So yeah, that's a good question and I don't
think one replaces the other.
Oh no, I don't think so. Like you said, they're just too different. I don't think you can do that. So.
I'm not sure which one I like best.
Yeah, I'm at that point now too.
I'm not sure.
Which I think is part of it. The reason I think that too, though, is I think there's so much bloat with Terraforming Mars. It's got so many expansions now. I don't want any more.
Yeah, there's the new Turmoil expansion that's on Kickstarter right now. It's got over $1 million pledged already.
Wow.
So people are going crazy for the Terraforming Mars. But the last time we played with all the expansions, we're like, wow, this is too much stuff.
Yeah.
This is too much stuff. So next time we play, we're probably going to play base game with Preludes and see how that goes.
Yeah. The good praise for Underwater Cities is really good. It's fun to play. And again, it's like a Civ building. You're building up,
I like this one. I want to try it again.
And you guys know I like space, so I mean, yeah, this is saying quite a bit about Underwater Cities, I think, because I do think it's like up there with that.
So I've heard some people that didn't like it, but I think they just.
I wonder if it's because of the mechanisms involved versus
it's the worker placement versus the card drafting.
Yeah, I wonder because too, if you're expecting one thing and get another. That'll disappoint you too.
So this one got a 9 as well, but this one could end up going up, I think, rather than down if we play it again. Because we were kind of still trying to figure out how the game worked and things when we played. About halfway through, it kind of all started clicking, but I'm wanting to play it again.
Yeah.
So there you go, Underwater Cities.
Cool.
Okay, so since we last talked, maybe, we got one new game. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it. I haven't played it yet. It's on our next to be played list as soon as we can. This is the Gentes. Gentes. How do you say it again?
Gentes.
Yeah.
That's Latin.
Some people pronounce it the Spanish pronunciation, Gentes, but has nothing to do with Spain, so I don't know why you pronounce it Gentes. It's based on, I don't know, Egypt, I guess. So I would think Latin before. Maybe neither one. I don't know. But anyway, so this is the deluxified TMG version. The original version came out a couple years ago, but I didn't get a chance to get that, so I bought this one. And I was really impressed with this version of the game. I haven't got the chance to play it. I've read the rules, but one thing was what I thought was funny when I got it in the mail. It came with an insert, and I'm like,
wow,
why did it come with an insert?
That's
and
awesome.
Then I looked in the Kickstarter. There's a tiny little piece of the things that you get, and it says what's it called? Folded space insert came with the game.
Oh.
So anyways, let me show you these. I just want to show you a quick view of the game since we didn't do an unboxing of this one. It comes the deluxe version comes with player boards with the recessed player boards, which is my new favorite thing in the world is the recessed player boards.
The stuff doesn't slide off.
Every game should have recessed player boards.
Preach it.
So it has those, but what I really wanted to show off
oh yeah, you told me about
is
this.
the insert.
So cool.
So I'm like a Meeple Realty diehard. I think they make the best inserts. But this folded space one, I'm really impressed. So folded space is a foam insert. So basically you punch out the foam pieces like you do like a Broken Token or Meeple Realty. And then you glue them together, but it's so easy to punch out. If you ever punched out one of those inserts, you know that the little pieces catch and you have to like cut the pieces off, and it's very tedious for the wooden pieces. The foam pieces pop right out, no problem.
Wow.
And you put it together with Elmer's glue or wood glue, and it popped together super quick. And I'm just really impressed. It's about probably I would think a third the weight of a Meeple Realty or a broken token.
This is so much lighter.
But this came with the Kickstarter, and it's got all these little things that you can just pop out, and the player, you just hand them their player. This is their player, all their player pieces. You just hand them this, and they have all their player pieces. It's just, I was just really impressed with this. It was put together super quick, probably twice as fast as I would put together a broken token insert or a Meeple Realty insert.
I think I put this in wrong.
And it's super light, and I immediately went out and bought a folded space Gloomhaven insert,
wow.
which I'll get that eventually. But
that's cool.
I was just impressed. I mean, a lot of people don't like foam inserts, but I fell in love with these little inserts. So we'll see how the Gloomhaven one does. But I'm just really impressed. They're out of somewhere in Europe. I'm trying to think of the name.
Oh, okay.
Some random country in Europe is where folded space, but they have very reasonable shipping. Like for the Gloomhaven insert to be shipped was €9, which is like $11, which is crazy cheap to be shipped from Europe. And the insert itself was, I think, 30 euros, which ends up being like $35. So the whole thing shipped is like $40. Wow. If you buy a Meeple Realty insert for Gloomhaven, I think it's $80. So wood versus foam, but I can't imagine how heavy a Gloomhaven box would be with everything in it and a wooden insert. It's got to weigh like 3,000 pounds. Literally 3,000 pounds. But yeah, I'm going to try. I may be the new torchbearer for folded space inserts. We'll see. So,
did you...
Bulgaria, that's where they're at. That's it.
Okay, there you go. Sofia, Bulgaria. Okay, cool. Did you back Vitals on Mars?
Vital on Mars, yes. Vital Lacerda.
Oh.
Yeah, I backed it. Yeah,
Okay.
I backed it.
Sorry, I can't.
I'm in the double digits, I think, of backers. So of the 6,000 backers, I think I was one of the first 100 backers.
Such a nerd.
Like because I had the Facebook page event thing, and it told me when it went live, and I immediately went over and went back like as soon as I could. And there was already close to 100 people already backed it within the first few seconds.
I'm having technical. There it goes.
So
are we keeping this? That's cool. I guess. Okay. We're keeping the sleeve then. After all.
But yeah, I'm wanting to play this one. This is one of those. If you heard me, you watch this channel. I love the 90-minute Euro game. This is a 90-minute Euro game.
Gonna be perfect.
It's got a cool mechanism. I'm trying to remember because
well, Tommy said he soloed it and loved it. So.
It's got some mechanism where you're moving like a worker on back and forth on a track, and based on where it is, like one action's more powerful than the other or something. Mm-hmm. I can't recall, but it's got some interesting mechanisms to it.
I bet this is the Latin Gentes because it means
that's
race
what the designer said. It is the Latin pronunciation.
Okay, so it's Gentes.
Yeah.
All right.
But a lot of people put. I did some little looking of this before I went forward to the show tonight. A lot of people, when they see this, if they speak Spanish as their native language,
that makes
they
sense.
Can't help but pronounce it Gentes.
I totally get that.
Because a G is a...
It's an H.
G is an H.
Yeah,
in
I totally
Spanish,
get that.
So.
No, I was just looking at them like, because it's like tribe or race, and this
is
definitely
It's a Latin. It's based on the Latin word. It is the Latin word.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, that's what it looks like.
So I'm excited to play this one. We're probably going to play this one at the latest this coming weekend. We'll play it.
Yay, that looks really pretty.
So I think it's going to be a fun one. 90-minute Euro, you can't beat that.
Yay!
All right. So, we said we're going to wrap up in about... I told Rebecca we'd wrap up in about half an hour.
And you lied.
And has it been longer than half an hour?
Yeah, it's
it has. Holy crap. All right, we're going to do one last thing before we're out of here. Well, two last things. One last thing is we're going to remind you that we're having the Family Showdown meetup at BGG Spring. Here's the details at the bottom of the screen. So we're having a meetup. It's 2 to 6 p.m. Saturday, May 25th in the McCombs boardroom. There will be punch and pie. There will be board gaming. There will be giveaways. There will be shenanigans. There will be times up, title recall. There will be all sorts of craziness. There will be Mafia de Cuba, all sorts of craziness. There will be a schedule, things to do. If we end early, we'll just hang out in the room and play games. So stop by if you're at BGG Spring. If you're not at BGG Spring, why aren't you at BGG Spring? You should be there. It's like we practiced it. All right, and last but not least,
Family Showdown Hoedown.
last but not least, I like that.
We do that. We did that for a Blender episode, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So last but not least,
okay.
next time Tuesday night,
oh yeah,
we're going to present our top 10 games that have not been on one of our top 10 lists, and we'll let you guess. Because I don't even know what games are going to be on this. So the top 10 games that have never been on any of our top 10 lists. I think we're up to like 50 or 60 top 10 lists now. Top 10 games that we have never put on one of our top 10
That's
lists.
That's going to be tough because I try to spread mine out and do a variety. I'm really curious.
I'm guessing my number one game is going to be like in the 50s.
Of your top 100?
Of my top 100. And or a brand new game that we just got. Like Underwater Cities. Potentially.
Oh, you're gonna do something cheaty like that? That seems cheaty.
Underwater Cities could be the top one. That's a good call, Michael. I think that's true. Potentially, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think I'm gonna be surprised that something high up has slipped through and just never fell into a category.
I know
that made our top 10 list.
Now I'm thinking, I'm like, ooh.
And we're not just gonna take our top 100 and check off which ones didn't make the list. We're gonna look at the list of games we've had on top 10 lists, which I'll provide her list and my list, and then we'll pick our top 10 games that aren't on the list as of now, because our opinions may have changed since our last top 100.
For the Ring First Edition.
First edition. I haven't played it, so technically I can't put it on the list. So that's going to be what we do next time. Top 10 games not on a top 10 list, previous top 10 list. All right, I think that's all we got for tonight. We're going to get out of here, let Rebecca get some sleep so she gets to feeling better, and we'll have an awesome list for you next time.
Yay, that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you guys soon. Bye. Joe says out.
We out!